The Sony X90L series is a really cool TV. This comes in a couple of different sizes, but right now we're looking at the 75-inch version. This TV was released in 2023, so at the time of making this video, it was this year, and it approximately retails for around $1,700 US. You can find it cheaper in some places, maybe will be a bit more expensive than others. In Canada, that's around $2,200 plus. And anyway, so in this video, we're going to look at this 75-inch version. Now, FYI, the actual screen size of this is 74.5 inches diagonally. But this is a really cool TV, and one of the reasons I was really interested in it is because, one, it's a Sony TV, so it will be optimized for the Sony PlayStation when it comes to gaming. But, you know, it has a ton of other features, which we will jump into right now. So when it comes to the processor, or the picture processor, it's the Cognitive Processor XR that powers this TV. As far as the operating system software, that's powered by Android TV. Now, additional details, there's onboard storage on this thing for around 32 gigabytes. It has Google TV as the smart TV software, and for clarity enhancement, there is XR 4K upscaling, which we'll talk about in a bit more detail a little bit later. And there was also dual database processing and XR super resolution. Now, the Sony X90L comes with an LCD type display. The resolution is 3840 times 2160 pixels, which is pretty standard for 4K TV. Now, the backlight type, it's a direct full array LED, and the refresh rate, not surprisingly, it's 120 Hz, and that's great because this is optimized for gaming and other fast-paced videos. Now, there's a technology Sony calls XR Clear Image, and what that does, it reduces noise, utilizing zone division and dynamic frame analysis, and it minimizes blur. I guess in the simplest terms, you can watch fast-moving objects on the screen without seeing that blur. Just think of like a football game or a high-paced video game, for example. They also have something called XR Triluminous Pro. So with this, there's over 1 billion colors that are reproduced, with small differences seen in the real world, or I should say subtle differences that are seen in the real world. Now, this is powered by the Cognitive Processor XR, and their full array LED with XR Triluminous Pro delivers natural shades in every detail. So you're seeing the branding here with the XR branding that these guys are using, but that's pretty cool. Now, speaking of XR, there is something they also have here called the XR Contrast Booster, and that precisely balances light across the screen and adjusts the brightness for higher peaks and glare and deeper blacks and shadow, etc. Now, the peak brightness is higher than ever for sublime depth and detail. Again, clear picture quality is what Sony is known for, very clear picture quality. And speaking of quality, or in this case clarity, Sony has this thing called XR Motion Clarity. So with that, you know, by analyzing motion across several frames, the Cognitive Processor XR, in conjunction with XR Motion Clarity, ensures that, again, fast-moving sports and action-packed movies stay smooth, bright, and clear. So I guess at this point, you can tell this TV has been produced specifically for high-performance use cases, right? There are a lot of TVs out there that can give you great pictures, but when it comes to fast-moving pictures, fast-moving sprites in a game, or fast-moving objects in a movie or in a sports game, you don't want to have that blur, right? Especially if you're going to spend the type of money for this type of TV. Now, there are a couple of picture modes that the Sony X90L comes with as well. There's the Vivid mode, there's Standard, there's Cinema, there's IMAX Enhanced, there's Game, Graphics, Photo, Custom, Dolby Vision, Netflix Calibrated, that's an interesting one, and Bravia Core Calibrated. Now, speaking of Bravia Core, there's this technology called Bravia Cam that comes from Sony, and what this does, it actually detects the distance between you and your TV, and then it adjusts the brightness for the picture quality that's optimized to your position in the room. So one FYI on this is that this feature will be available in a future firmware update. Now again, this is a 2023 TV. This video is being done in December, so it's possible that that firmware update has already been done. So look out for that. But that is a really cool feature. So here's the Sony remote. Pretty standard remote, you know, in basic black. At the bottom you see the Sony logo. At the top right hand corner you see the on off switch there with the green logo there. And let's go from left to right and go down. So at the top left hand corner you have the TV button. So with that you switch to a TV channel or input and display the TV menu. And then we have the mic right there in the middle. There you speak into that mic and you can use that to control your voice services, like, you know, Alexa and stuff like that. Now we have this thing here, looks like a little looks like a, what's that tool called again, spanner. Well, that's your quick settings button, and you just click on that and you get your quick settings. And then below the TV button there you have the display and select input source. And then to the far right that we have the menu button. There you can display a menu on the TV to use button functions that are not on the remote on the screen. Then we have the directional buttons, up, down, left and right. And in the middle then you will have the enter button, right? Nice and simple design, nice circular design. Below that to the left we have the back button. That's where you return to the previous screen. To the right of that button that looks like a home or house. Obviously that's your home menu button. So below that, now on the below left hand side there we have the gear there. That's when you want to go to your setup, right? Your setup dashboard, I should call it. And then next to that we have our media button where you can play and pause media. And then next to that we have our guide. You press that, it displays the digital program guide of the TV or TV box if you have one of those hooked up. And below that we just have our quick buttons to stuff like Bravia Core, Netflix, Disney Plus, Prime Video, YouTube, and so forth. And you know what? Sony is known for making good looking TVs, and I'm not just talking about the picture quality itself, but the actual physical design. I mean, just looking at this, you have this seamless edge bezel design. This particular model comes in a dark silver bezel color, right? Dark silver. And it has a really cool looking aluminium slim wedge design in the stand, right? So an aluminium slim wedge stand. And it's just a good looking TV. I mean, it's a Sony product, so it's going to be, you know, a very high quality TV. I mean, just look at the bezels. I'm always coming back to the bezels. I think bezels really make or break a TV. And I think most of the huge TV manufacturers today just don't want to make sure that the bezel is slim, but it also has a nice look to it, not like a cheap plastic look, right? So the color is very important. But all in all, yeah, this is a really cool TV that you can have on your, you know, entertainment center, as you can see here, on a tabletop or wall mounted, right? Because it also is very slim, it's not thick. So this is also ideal for a wall mounting as well. And yes, it does come with VESA mounts. Okay, so the big plus for the Sony X90L is that it comes with 4, right? Not 3 or 2, but 4 HDMI ports. This is great. I can hook up my Xbox, my PlayStation, my media player, and I still have space for another device. So that's cool. So in addition to the 4 HDMI ports, it also does come with an Ethernet port. It comes with RF terrestrial cable port. That's just your cable port for your set-top box, right? For your antenna, your digital antenna. It also comes with an RS-232C port, and that's usually used for TV testing and troubleshooting. So that's a port you would really use. Maybe your technician would use that port, but it's there anyway, nonetheless. There's also a digital audio output port. That's the optical one, and that's for connecting your fiber optic cable there to your 3D surround system, right? Your surround sound system. That's through this port, and it does come with 2 USB ports. And more people are realizing that a USB port is just as important as an HDMI port, because USB ports they serve a couple of purposes. One, if you have external media that you want to play on your TV from an external drive or from a memory stick, the USB port is perfect for that. But there's also another feature that these provide, and that they actually provide power, right? Because we have all these different gadgets now that hook up to our TVs, and a lot of the times they just need a USB port to provide the power, right? So you don't need to find an AC port in the back of the wall. It's additional wires. It's messy, but if you have a USB port in the back, it saves you all that hassle. So, but that's it for connectivity. Just as far as the important ports are concerned. So the Sony X90L comes with Chromecast built in. It comes with Apple AirPlay built in. There's also access to the Google Play Store. And as is the case with most modern TVs today, there are a flurry of other applications that run on this thing. Games, video players, so many different things on this. It's a huge library, but those are the big ones. Now, as far as Netflix, Netflix is on here, obviously. Obviously, there's also, you can surf the web and all that. But as far as Netflix is concerned, there's something called Netflix Adaptive Calibrated Mode. And that works with Bravia's XR's ambient light optimization. So what it does, it just adjusts the picture brightness of your favorite Netflix shows, and that adjusts to the room's lighting conditions. So that's a little added feature there that Sony's put into these TVs when it comes to optimizing your Netflix viewing experience. So that's a really cool piece to mention as well. So when it comes to the built-in speakers that comes with the TV, the audio power output is 10 watts plus 10 watts plus 5 watts plus 5 watts. So that's 10 different speakers. Sorry, that's 4 different speakers, where one pair are set at 10 watts each and then the other pair are set at 5 watts each. The speaker types, they're the acoustic, multi-audio, and sound positioning tweeters, and there's an X-balanced speaker as well. The speaker configuration, we're talking about bass reflex full range times 2 and 2 tweeters, right? So those two 10-watt speakers, I suspect, are the bass reflex full range, right? And then the two 5-watt ones, the two 5-watt ones are the tweeters. The X90L supports Dolby Audio and Dolby Atmos audio formats, and it's pretty standard now across most of these modern day TVs. And speaking of supporting modern day formats, this also supports DTS digital surround sound as well. Okay, so we're talking about the Sony X90L with a refresh rate of 120 Hz. And having that refresh rate plus all that other really cool picture technology on a lovely 75-inch canvas, you get the perfect TV for gaming. And the fact that this is a Sony TV, you know that they're going to optimize this model for the Sony PlayStation line. Speaking of Sony PlayStation, as you can see, Gran Turismo looks gorgeous on this thing. Anyway, so, with gaming, there is the PlayStation 5 feature that I talked about, and with that you have something called Auto HDR Tone Mapping, and there's also another PlayStation 5 feature called Auto Genre Picture Mode as well. So those two technologies combined really make sure that your gaming experience on the PlayStation 5 on this TV is above average. I'm talking about way above average. I mean, I honestly may get this TV just for my PlayStation 5. It's a really cool TV for gaming. So looking at the dimensions without the stand, you're looking at 65 and 3/4 inches wide by 37 and 7/8 inches high times 2 and 3/8 inches thick or deep. And with the stand, it measures in at 65 and 3/4 inches wide, the same as without the stand obviously, times a height of 39 inches and 1/8 inch, so 39 and 1/8 inches high. So that's an additional, 2+ inches you get from the stand. And then you have a depth of 15 inches and 5/8 of an inch, right? So those are the dimensions. So without the stand, the Sony X90L weighs in at 78 pounds, and with the stand, it adds an additional 2.7 pounds to be a total of 80.7 pounds. So obviously, if you're going to be wall mounting this TV or even just installing it, it is highly recommended that 2 people move the TV around as opposed to 1. So all in all, at a price point under $2,000 for the 75-inch Sony X90L 4K UHD TV, it's a premium product, and it comes complete with all of the bells and whistles that makes content consumption and video gaming a delightful experience. I mean, the mere fact that, the makers of the Sony PlayStation 5 are making this TV as well. If you're a PlayStation fan, this may be just the right TV for you, because they've optimized, everything that you can experience on the PlayStation 5 to show vividly and crisply and as fast as possible without any blur on this TV. Now, from the Bravia Cam to the 120Hz refresh rate, and, as I said, the features that are optimized for the Sony PlayStation 5, the Sony X90L is the complete package, in my point of view, in the world of 4K televisions. So guys, on that note, I hope you enjoyed that, pretty cool TV review of the Sony X90L. This is a 75-inch version, and feel free to let me know what you think about it. Until next time, guys, stay safe and happy gaming. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that last video. If you liked it, go ahead and like it. Thank you very much ahead in advance. And if you haven't done so already, you should subscribe to this channel. 2 reasons for doing that. 1, you will get access to our weekly content that's coming out when it comes to do with TVs, TV accessories, home entertainment systems, pretty much anything to do with televisions will be coming out. And the second reason is you will automatically be eligible for our future prize giveaways. Now, speaking of prize giveaways, in addition to subscribing to this channel, you would also need to subscribe to our newsletter. Now, to get access to doing that, just click on the link below to our website at www.redtechbot.com and just subscribe to our newsletter there. And once you've done that, you're automatically eligible for prize giveaways. So newsletter subscription and subscribe to the channel. That's it. Anyway guys, other than that, if there are any TV models, TV accessories, home entertainment systems, anything to do with TVs that you would like me to review, just leave them in the comments below and I will add that to my backlog and see what I can do for you. Now, I can't promise you or guarantee I will get those product reviews done, but I will definitely see what I can do in the near future. No promises, but at least let me know and I'll see what I can do. Other than that, guys, happy TV viewing and just stay safe out there. Okay, so till next time, bye-bye.